Welcome to the Miller Experience, where we have up close and personal conversations with people that I admire that's doing big things and fixtures in the game. And my next guest is definitely one of them people. My next guest won a national championship with the 2001 University of Miami Hurricanes. In 2002, he was drafted by the Green Bay Packers as a running back / fullback. In 2006, he then continued his NFL career with the Pittsburgh Steelers, playing through 2006 to 2008. His final stop in NFL was the Indianapolis Colts. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Mr. Najeh Davenport. Now, I'm kind of geeked up, ain't gonna lie, man. I'm a Florida Gator fan, but y'all era at UM, bruh, y'all some beasts, man. So, and also I'm a Green Bay Packer fan. All right, so I'm definitely geek. All right, so I definitely appreciate you coming on. Let's start off about yourself, man. Where are you from? What made you get into football? Do you do any other sports? Let's talk about that.
I'm from Miami.
Okay.
What made me got in? I play a lot of street. We had these thing called Peace in the Hood games, and Peace in the Hood games is something. Honestly, I don't know who started it, but it'd be like different little hoods play each other. You know, we grow up and you had a 3-mile radius. You all kind of packed in the same spot, but you had like some like the Scott Projects and Robin Hood and Overtown and Brown Subs, and we all kind of had like a playoff series. Like every weekend, we go into these different neighborhoods and we have like a game. Okay. Game like sometimes 59 to 60. It's just you play until you get tired type game, and that's what I played for a long time. I was always kind of like big boned. I guess that's the term. I was heavy for my age, like a young age, and not like I was overweight. It was just like I was solid. And they used to put me in a car with a plastic bag on and a heater running, like a little homemade sauna to kind of get underweight. So I did that for like a week and a half, and I decided right then I didn't want to play football. If I had to go that, if I had to do that, I didn't want to play ball. Yeah. So then, like my freshman year of high school, I came out and one of my friends was like, "Hey man, come play football." I'm like, "Nah, I don't feel like doing that whole sauna thing, sitting in the car, trying to lose weight thing." So then one of my coaches came out. Well, he came and kind of told me what it was, and I went from there.
What position you originally played? You start off playing. You always play running back.
Yeah, that's it. Running back, linebacker. Okay. They kind of had me, I don't want to say everywhere, but like both sides of the ball. And I was always bigger and faster than a lot of people. So it's like running back, linebacker. But when I first started, I couldn't catch AIDS, man. it was bad.
In 2001, let's talk about that 2001 season, man, that magical season y'all had. You had the likes of Willis McGahee, Andre Johnson, Clinton Portis, Frank Gore, Mike Rump, the legendary Sean Taylor. He probably was a freshman back then, I believe. Yeah. But you had them guys on it. Man, tell me about that season. Tell me about, playing with them guys.
That 2001 season kind of like the end of it, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That it started like in 98, I want to say. It started with my freshman class and the class before me. And we called them 2 Gs and Deuce 1. I did a documentary a while ago called the U Reloaded. You can find it on YouTube. Okay. For all your listeners. It details the process from how we went from being a 5-6 season, a 5-6 team, to a national championship, and like what it took mentality-wise, what it took, dedication, that brotherhood that you build in the locker room, on and off the field. And I think everybody else kind of fed off that. Like you just named those guys, and from that 2001 team, you think, man, that's a hellified lineup, to have, those guys. But when I give you my freshman class, and you can see where I'm coming. My freshman class, it was myself, Ed Reed, Santana Moss, Reggie Wayne, Dan Morgan, Joaquin Gonzalez, Kenny Kelly, which he went to play baseball. We had about 4 or 5 more people that actually made it to the league. 13, James Lewis, Marquise Fitzgerald, Devin Brown. They had everybody didn't have a career like Ed Reed. Someone played like 2 or 3 years, but like we had 13 scholarships my freshman year, and 12 of us made it to the league. Well, 12 of us, 11 of us was drafted, and one was like a free agent. Yeah. And then that kind of the mentality we had. And the class before that was Damian Lewis, Eden James, Al Blaze, Nate Webster, Bubba Franks. So our 2 classes kind of came in and we jailed, and we had to understand what it took to be a Hurricane. And we kind of looked at the, Irvins and the Michael Barrows and Jesse Armsteads. They used to come back, Sapp, they used to come back and kind of preach what a Hurricane is. It's a little different because when you come from a championship team and you come back, you talk to young kids, the young cats, you got a different understanding of what it takes to get to that level. And that's what, we was new, we was young, we was freshmen. And having those guys come back in and say, hey, we need to do X, Y, Z, you got to establish this, you got to establish that. We bought into it. We bought into the system. We bought into Coach Davis' program and everything that came with him and Jimmy Johnson. And this is what it takes to be a Super Bowl champion. This is what it takes to be a national champion. We bought into it. So everybody who came after us, they had no choice. So the next year you had Clinton Portis come in. EJ was already there. EJ was the class in front of me. Eden James was the class in front of me. He's going to the Hall of Fame now. My sophomore year, we had Clinton Portis come in, and Jared Payton. And after that, Willis came in. And after that, Frank came in. Then we had, Sean Taylor, Antrell Rowe, Kenny Phillips. The list go on. To sit here and try to name everybody is going to be crazy. But, we built like the blueprint. This is what it takes. And that's why you see us kind of go from that 5-6 to that 8-3 to that 11-1, that 12-0, and then again that 12-1 when we lost that second national championship. And then it fell off after that. I believe it fell off in the people in my circle. That mentality, because the younger guys will come in, and before they have a good 2 or 3 years to kind of like instill what it takes to be a Hurricane into the next generation, they was leaving. They were leaving early, so they really had no locker room presence to kind of dictate, hey, this is how it's done. And that's one of our opinions. That's how it fell off.
I'm telling you, man, like the Miami's and Florida State games was legendary, man. And I'm a Gator saying this, all right? So, y'all, you already know. So do you think you guys, the new era of Hurricanes, the 2020, 2021, looking at these guys, you think they'll be back to the way you guys were?
I like to say my opinions, man, because every year,
I got you.
Every year we got somebody coming in and it's going to be the savior. It's going to be the savior, and it wind up be the same BS. I think until you get a group of guys, a group of freshmen, we can get our hands on and kind of dictate, hey, man, this is how this needs to be ran. Well, we got to find that formula as well, because when we was playing, we didn't have really like a lot of social media. We was really team built. It wasn't really individual. We weren't really like individuals. You know what I mean? We was, hey, you see one of us, you see 20 of us. We had that type of mentality. Gotcha. Nowadays, it's a little different. Social media, the branding, everything is me. And we had that type of atmosphere. It's a little hard to jail if you get my pick. But it's gonna take like 5 or 6 freshmen. That's the top tier dogs, and kind of put the team on their back, and hey, regardless, this is what we're gonna do. Okay. You need to be here at a certain time. You need to do this. You need to do that, and be unselfish. That's gonna change that program. I don't think the coaching going to change that program. I don't think the recruits that they bring in, unless they dogs, unless they got one goal, and that's to win a national championship and do what it takes, that's going to change that program. Until then, we're going to have those good seasons, and then they fall off at the end, and we're going to start off slow, and then we're going to pick up at the end. and it's going to be a roller coaster.
You graduated University of Miami with a Bachelor of Arts degree in theater with a minor in education. Was your goal always to go into the NFL, or you was planning on going into theater or becoming a teacher?
It was a teacher. Like this football stuff was kind of new to me. I won't say it was new to me, but it was like me taking it serious. It was kind of new, but my mom was a teacher, and like I just automatically assumed I was going to be a teacher. I didn't really take football seriously as far as like, going to the league until after EJ got drafted. Now take that back. Dwayne Starks got drafted like my freshman year, and we was all in the locker room watching D-Star get drafted. Then they started talking about it. Then the next year, EJ did a whole big old thing they did with EJ and him getting drafted. That made me want to play in the league a little bit more. Other than that, it was just being able to compete,
Got you. So in 2002, you was drafted in the 4th round by the Green Bay Packers. How was that process?
It was smooth. It was, I was told, when they reached, I had broke my foot at Pro Day. And prior to that, they was like, well, it's going to be a late 1st round pick, early 2nd. And then I broke my foot. And then I dropped to the 4th. But I think Green Bay was a good place for me to end up. I think it was I think the tradition. I was built on tradition. So I think going there and seeing what they had in store and the legacy that those guys left behind, I thought it was a good opportunity for me. And when I came through, I was drafted as a fullback. And I think I played fullback for like a week. And they moved me to tailback, which I was happy. So I think overall it was a great experience, reaching it wasn't a dream, but like the next level.
Yeah. Now, in 2005, I believe that was your last year in Green Bay?
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers was drafted during that time. How was Aaron Rodgers as a player then, and what do you think about his situation dealing with Green Bay now?
He was just like a rookie, like any other rookie from what I can remember. He was confident. You can see that. He had a little chip on his shoulder. And with the situation now, I think it's football. It's these guys taking control of their likeness and their branding. They're just taking it from outside of the locker room to inside the locker room. Now, you think about it, you have a lot of marketing-wise, you got a lot of control over what you do outside and no control on the inside because it's part of an organization. But, when you realize that you got power and you can use it, a lot of fans ain't going to be happy because all they see is the big picture. Yeah. But then you got to go home. You got to be happy with whatever decision that you make going forward. So I think he's doing what he needs to do.
Yeah, as a Packer fan, man, I'm with you on that, man. I understand everything's business, is money. I just pray that Jordan Love is the truth, my man. That's all I'm hoping right now. How do you feel about? Hey, exactly. And when the situation with Brett was coming, I was saying the same thing. I hope Aaron Rodgers is the truth, and you see how that panned out. So I was saying the exact same thing. How do you feel about college players receiving money outside their scholarships and not having the university pay them, but being compensated for the use of their face, voice, likenesses, such as speaking engagements, commercials, radio ads, starting and producing a YouTube channel? Because I saw something on a podcast called I Am Athlete. It was a former college football player. I think he was a kicker. He was making money, mad money. Yeah. And he ended up, they gave him a choice. He was making mad money off his YouTube channel. And they ended up giving him a choice. He either got to keep his scholarship or keep his YouTube channel. He kept his YouTube channel. So how do you feel about that?
I think it's awesome, man. Anytime you get to capitalize on what you love and it's not a job, you know what I mean? I think it's awesome. I think it's gonna make a lot of, I believe it's gonna give a lot of opportunity to different players outside who necessarily don't make the league, who have good seasons enough to get branded, but don't quite pan out. I think it's gonna give them opportunities to put some money in their pocket before they leave school and don't come out there and just be broke. A lot of cats leave school and just don't have no money, and they wind up taking dead end jobs or probably looking for their career.
Mhm.
And so I think this gives them opportunity to put some money in their pocket so they can figure out what they love.
Okay. Now I see you on Instagram, man. You big on fitness. So am I with my Train So Hard University brand. Tell me about I Can Fitness.
I can't fit my partner. I came on a little later. He started the gym, believe it or not, out of the garage in this complex he used to live in. And so he built up from maybe like 5 or 6 clients to over like 400 now. We got 2 locations. And it's like a well-oiled machine, man. People are getting like, real people, real results. They do a tremendous job with, taking care of your body with different how to train, when to train, meal plans, different little programs, we call them, for like boxing, I can't run, rip camp, ass and abs, stuff that, is for all fitness levels. I think it's boutique fitness gym, but I think we got a real foothold in South Florida. And I think if you lay around for it, it's going to be something huge.
You played 3 levels, all levels of football. How does relationship between player and coach change from high school to college to pros?
It really depends on the coach.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
To me, it depends on the coach. You have some coaches that's like in high school, like, father figures. Mm-hmm. You got college coaches that's kind of like, good ones that's going to become like that big brother type. And then you got coaches in the league that's going to be your homeboy. And y'all can have like a real conversation because both of y'all are men. But then you got at the same time, you got bad coaches, just bad all around. Yeah. But depending on where you are, the coaching level will change. Is some coaches can help you understand it, and some coaches can tell you, "Hey, this is what you do," and then chew you out when you do it wrong, but they can't really explain to you how to do it. If you get my picture, yeah. The game of football, like the higher level, the higher you go up, they say it gets faster and faster and faster. No, it's just, you start processing it slower, and you'll be fine. But it got to take a special coach to kind of relay that message to you, how you break down film, how you look at whatever concept they got going on or whatever the plays is, and teach you how to process that play. So your mind ain't running 1,000 miles a minute trying to, when they call the snap, and from between the snap and when you get the ball or the play start or what have you. So I mean, it's all about who your coach is and how you coach. I personally believe, but they giving coaches jobs out to everybody nowadays. It seems like.
You talked about tradition from coming from UM. They have a big tradition. Green Bay. Then you went to Pittsburgh, another storied franchise. What was it like playing for Coach T, Mike Tomlin?
Oh, Mike T was cool. He was like that. He was more so like that. I won't say your homeboy. Yeah, he treated you like a man. Like his first year, he definitely treated you like a man. And that's his whole thing. Hey, I'm gonna treat you like a man. I respect you. Act like one. And show up on time. You do what you need to do. And so he was cool. He was cool, very cool in that aspect. I don't want to say he was no nonsense, but he was just like, he was understanding. He knew, he respected you as a man, and I thought he was a great coach from the moment he stepped in. BC was another coach that I thought, was going to be like just Bill Cowher was another coach I thought was just going to be, what's the word? Just like, you see him on TV, you see what the persona is on TV. Actually, like when I came over there, he just, he brought me in and we talked about 20 or 30 minutes, if I remember correctly. And we didn't talk about no football. Okay. And I guess he was just trying to get to know me, and I was, he was letting me know who he was. And that's it. After that, he stood up, shook my hand, and, hey, welcome to the Steelers. So that was
I see your son beasting out, man. I see you got a little clips on YouTube and Instagram of your son playing ball. Do you want him to prolong if he want to? Would you encourage him if he want to try to play pro football, doing, with concussions and everything, stuff you going through after you retire from the NFL? Do you still want to proceed in football, or is it just his decision, whatever he want to do?
It's his decision. When I sit back and I look at it, and I look at what he does on the field, like he can line up literally anywhere and everywhere. I just try to give him, tidbits and pointers, and this is what it takes to be a professional. This is what you want to do. These are some of the sacrifices you're gonna have to make, and he excels at it. You know what I mean? So sometimes you hear him saying, "Hey, I want to play professional football." And other times he talking about something else.
Yeah.
But I just let him. I think as a father, to give him what I got is just understanding what it takes.
Yeah.
Because you go anywhere, you're gonna be 1,000 kids, saying they're gonna play professional football, but only 5% of us make it.
Yeah.
He has a lot of the intangibles, so it's like you got an opportunity, you got a real shot, but this is what it's gonna take. So after that, either way, as long as he's happy doing what he loves, it's fine with me.
All right, this is the last segment of the show. It's called a Firing Squad, where I ask you quick questions, answer it as quick as possible, as truthful as possible. All right. Psychology state there's only two emotions, being loved and feared. Which one you rather do?
Love.
What is your biggest fear?
Heights.
I agree with you on that, brother. I'm with that. I don't do roller coasters or planes. Top 5 running backs in the NFL currently.
Dalvin Cook, he went to high school, my high school. Other than that, I ain't really been watching it like that. I couldn't even tell you.
I say Dalvin, Derrick Henry, Kamara, Christian McCaffrey, and my boy from Aaron Jones, Green Bay. Best coach you ever played for?
Don Solinger.
Who's the worst coach you ever played for?
I don't want to say he's the worst, but he had no idea what he was doing. Sometimes, dude named Parnell.
Okay. If you're on an island, you're stuck on the island, you're by yourself, what 3 things are you bringing with you?
I don't know, that's a tough one. Hopefully a lifeboat. Some oars or a motor or something to get me off that island.
When it's all said and done, how do you want everyone to remember Najeh Davenport?
I ain't never really think about it like that. You know what I mean? I just I want them to remember me for, I don't know. Definitely not for football. You know what I mean? I just want them to remember me for a dude that they kind of stood up when it was time to stand up.
So you want to be known as a stand-up guy. Respectable. I understand that. I respect that. Well, Mr. Davenport, I appreciate you coming on my podcast, sir. Is anything you want, your website, whatever you got going on, you want to put out there?
No, I'm good. I appreciate it.
All right, sir. I thank you. Have a blessed one. Appreciate you.
All right, you too.
All right, brother.